Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, and in today's video, I'm bringing you guys Week 4 wide receiver rankings for fantasy football in 2020. We are going to go over my top 32 wide receivers on week number 4 and discuss why I have them ranked, inside of this video. So, before I get into it, I'd like to give you guys a quick word from my friends and my sponsor over at OverlayDFS.com. OverlayDFS.com is my favorite place to play daily fantasy football. Now, why is that, Nick? It's because it is the easiest place to play and the simplest. All it is one player versus another player, plus or minus the spread. Now, some games don't have a spread. Other games do have a spread. It's very simple. Which player scores more fantasy points, plus or minus the spread? For instance, here, we have Ezekiel Elliott versus Nick Chubb. Who scores more fantasy points? Ezekiel Elliott minus 3 points or Nick Chubb plus 3 fantasy points? It's so simple that anyone can do it. It's so easy. You guys do all this research to win your weekly matchups in fantasy football. So why not make some additional cash on OverlayDFS.com? Make sure you guys check that out. Link down below in the description. And we are back. Please make sure to check out OverlayDFS.com, link down below in the description. And if you guys do end up enjoying, please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. So let's get right into it. Week 4 wide receiver rankings for fantasy football in 2020. We begin with wide receivers number 1 through 12. At number 1, we have DeAndre Hopkins going up against the Carolina Panthers in Carolina. Now, I'd find it very hard to rank DeAndre Hopkins outside of the top 5 at this point on a weekly basis, especially going up against the Carolina Panthers defense in a game that could be relatively high scoring. Last week, even with Kyler Murray struggling and throwing multiple INTs in that game, DeAndre Hopkins still had a hell of a game. Sure, he didn't find the end zone, but he still saw over 100 yards. That's the weekly basis for DeAndre Hopkins. This guy gets fed the goddamn rock on a weekly basis, so I believe DeAndre Hopkins will be the number 1 wide receiver this week going up against the Carolina Panthers. At number 2, we have Calvin Ridley going up against the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay on primetime on Monday night. This is a matchup that is surefire to have a zillion points in it. The Falcons defense is absolutely booty cheeks, so the Green Bay Packers are going to be able to score with ease, which means that Calvin Ridley is going to have to be getting the ball later in the game because they are going to have to be throwing the pigskin all around in Lambeau Field. I think Calvin Ridley's in for another big game. This guy's been eating like his name was Ezekiel Elliott the last couple of weeks, and I expect nothing but greatness out of Calvin Ridley this game on Monday night. Number 3, we have Davante Adams, wide receiver on the other side of the ball, going up against Green Bay. That's fake news. He's going up against the Atlanta Falcons, and he is on Green Bay. But with that said, Davante Adams is going to have a big game if he is healthy, if he is good to go. Because right now, the reports are that we have really no idea if he is going to play or not. He practiced today on Thursday, so it seems like he should be good to go and healthy for Monday. But understand, if you have Davante Adams and it seems like on Sunday he may not play, to make sure you switch him out. And if you want to be on the safer side, probably just play someone on Sunday, since there's definitely a chance that he does end up not playing, but we should know more by Sunday before you can make that decision. But if he does end up playing, I like this matchup a lot up against the Falcons. At number 4, we have Allen Robinson going up against the Indianapolis Colts. After 9-inch Nick Foles got into that game on Sunday up against the Atlanta Falcons, we saw Allen Robinson go absolutely crazy up against the Atlanta Falcons. He just looked so good with 9-inch Nick Foles. Nick Foles was just slinging the pigskin his way, and Allen Robinson was taking advantage of that poor defense. Now, I understand this week he gets the Colts, who are definitely a tougher type of defense, but I feel like with Nick Foles under center, there's going to be great things here for Mr. Allen Robinson, who in my opinion is one of the better wide receivers in the NFL. At number 5, we have Tyreek the Freak Hill going up against the New England Deflatriots. Now, in this game, I would not be surprised if Tyreek Hill got shut down because Bill Belichick is a fucking genius. But if you guys remember, in the past when they played the Patriots, Tyreek Hill has done pretty good. And on a weekly basis, it's kind of hard to rank Tyreek Hill outside of the top 5 to 8 range, strictly based on the amount of upside that he has in a game. He could go from having 2 catches and 30 yards to having 3 catches and 100 fucking yards and a touchdown, because Tyreek Hill is that game breaker that you throw into your lineup like you're playing the Street 2 video game and you hit both the triggers at the same time and your team goes absolutely crazy. That's what Tyreek Hill does. He has the ludicrous speed option on his body, and he runs fast as fuck, and he's going to be running really fast up against the New England Patriots and put up a solid game here on Sunday. At number 6, we have Mr. MT, Michael Thomas, going up against the Detroit Lions in Detroit. The slant god himself should return to the lineup on Sunday. Now, the reports are that he will come back. Understand, again, just like Davante Adams, he may not play on Sunday. So keep that in mind and make sure to check the injury report on Sunday before you set your lineup, or check out the live stream beforehand because I will be talking about the injuries. At number 7, we have Mr. DK Metcalf going up against the Miami Dolphins in Miami. Now, this Seattle offense is humming at an unprecedented circumstance, or not circumstance, just a circumstance. What I should have said is at an alarming rate. This offense is heaving the rock on a weekly basis. Russell Wilson is cooking up these defense, and I expect he's going to cook these Dolphins into some fucking sushi because DK Metcalf is going to have an excellent game. I understand last week he ended up dropping that touchdown. It wasn't really dropped. He actually had it in his hands. He was doing a fucking dance into the end zone, and Stephon Diggs' cousin, or Trayvon Diggs, I believe his name is, said, Dikembe, no, slapped that out of air. But then he redeemed himself later into the game, and I think this Miami Dolphins game could be very high scoring because the Dolphins offense is no joke, and they could hit him with the 1-2 Mayweather to come back into the game. So DK Metcalf should be able to score pretty well in this game. At number 8, we have DK Metcalf's buddy Tyler Lockett, also on the Seattle Seahawks, going up against the Miami Dolphins. This is a juicy matchup, like his name was Juicy J, and Tyler Lockett put up last week an explosive game. Not 1, not 2, but 3 total touchdowns last week up against the Dallas Cowboys, and yet again here, another soft matchup on defense up against the Miami Dolphins. At number 9, we have the Double J, Julio Jones, going up against the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay. So we just talked about it with Calvin Ridley. Julio Jones, also one of those guys that is an unknown for Monday's game. I have no idea if Julio Jones is going to be playing, but he did come back to practice, and it seems like all things are pointing in the direction of him playing on Monday night in prime time in Lambeau Field. And if Julio plays, he's got to be in your lineup. He has that upside. Sure, the guy never ends up scoring a fucking touchdown, but he has over 100-yard upside in this game. I just like Calvin Ridley more because he obviously gets the worst corner, and he's definitely 100% healthy. At number 10, we have Bobby Trees, Robert Woods, going up against the New York Football Giants. Now, if you want to know one thing about the New York Football Giants, it's that their defense is so bad. Can you name one player on the defense of the New York Football Giants without Googling it? Probably not, because they're a bunch of no-name fucking schlubs who can't do anything. Robert Woods is going to go to Pound Town on Sunday up against the New York Football Giants defense. Enough said. At number 11, we have the crispiest route runner in the NFL, Keenan Allen, going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. Now, I know I made a joke the other day that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers don't have the best defense in the league, and someone in the comments said, we have the number 2 defense in the league, and I said, yeah, I'm right. They're not the best defense in the league, and I thought that was pretty fucking funny. I figured I would share that. At number 11, though, Keenan Allen has looked very good with Justin Herbert, the pervert, under center. With Herbert being the quarterback, I just believe heavily in Keenan Allen since he's going to be getting peppered Salt Bay style with targets. At number 12, we have Mr. AT-AT. Like the fucking thing in Star Wars, or AT&T, Adam Thielen, going up against the Houston Texans in Houston. I expect this Vikings game to play. The other game, the Tennessee Titans versus the Steelers, has been delayed to week 7, I believe. They're just certainly not playing this week. They get their bye week early in week number 4. I expect Adam Thielen, though, in this game, as long as it's played like I believe it will be, will have a big game here up against the Houston Texans. Last week, Justin Jefferson did the shimmy straight into the end zone and got like 175 plus yards in this game. And Adam Thielen kind of sat there like the cuck in the corner watching Justin Jefferson drill the other defense. But this week will be different, and Adam Thielen up against the shitty Houston Texans defense should put up a solid score. Now into wide receivers 13 through 24. Again, if you guys have ended up enjoying thus far, please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. At number 13, we begin with Stephon Diggs at the Las Vegas Raiders. Stephon Diggs has been playing quite well regardless of the defense he's been playing against. He's been going to absolute town last week. People were like, oh my God, man, Jalen Ramsey is going to cook Stephon Diggs for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He's not going to be able to do anything. And then Stephon Diggs broke free. He was soaring. He was flying like Troy Bolton in High School Musical. So Stephon Diggs is going to be a baller this week up against the Raiders. At number 14, we have Cooper Kupp going up against the New York Football Giants. Now, I have Robert Woods ranked ahead of him because on the weekly basis, it seems like Jared Cook likes to throw the ball more to Robert Woods. In this matchup up against the New York Football Giants, I would not be surprised if Cooper Kupp scored more points than Robert Woods because they don't have a shutdown corner to stop either of these guys. Both of these guys could easily be top 10 wide receivers on the week up against the Giants. At 15, we have AC, Amari Cooper, Atlantic City, going up against the Cleveland Browns at home in Jerry's World. This should be definitely an A1 matchup for Amari Cooper as well as the rest of the Dallas Cowboys offense. Note, they're all inside of the top 24. Amari Cooper definitely, in my opinion, has the shot to be the best out of all of them due to the fact that he seems to be the number one wide receiver. Now, in the past, Amari Cooper has been dubbed as an inconsistent wide receiver, and I personally believe that before this season, but he has been ultra consistent through the first 3 games of the season, and here up against the Cleveland Browns, I like this spot a lot. Now, my kind of bias has kind of gone away. I now believe that Amari Cooper is a safe pick on a weekly basis. At number 16, we have Wiki DJ Moore going up against the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals defense did not play that well up against Matty Snapback and friends of the Detroit Lions last week. DJ Moore has had some down games this year, especially considering I believed he could have potentially been a top 10 wide receiver. It seems like those hopes are out of the way because Teddy Bridgewater, for some reason, seems to like to throw the ball more to Mr. Stickman, Robbie Anderson. But at the end of the day, Wiki DJ Moore is still going to be able to put up a solid dance here up against the Arizona Cardinals. At number 17, we have Mike Evans going up against the LA Superchargers. Now, with Chris Godwin likely sidelined multiple weeks, this is the prime spot for Mike Evans to ball out. The last 2 weeks, I believe this guy just has like 3 touchdowns and 3 total catches because the only time they're ever looking at him is in the end zone. But with Godwin gone in this game, they're going to have to look for Mike Evans much more when they're driving up the field. So I think Mike Evans is definitely in for a bigger game here up against the LA Chargers defense, even though they do have a tough defense. That's why he's ranked down here at number 17. At number 18, we have Terry McLaurin, F1 McLaurin, going up against the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Ravens last week looked like fucking burnt toast up against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, but now they get the Washington football team, who has no identity. They don't even have a fucking logo. It's just a W, like their name was Jameis Winston eating a fucking W. So Terry McLaurin here, always a good start, in my opinion. Just a very safe player on a team that, while isn't that great, is going to have to throw back into this game like it's Throwback Thursday on a girl's Instagram. So Terry McLaurin should be able to be throwing it back on Sunday. At number 19, we have I almost said we have Scorin McLaurin. We already talked about him. We have Tyler, Boyd, going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. This game, to me, screams points. A zillion points on the board up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Horsecock Joe Burrow has been balling out on a weekly basis. He's been balling like usual. Tyler Boyd is in for a big game here. AJ Green seems to be eviscerated. He seems like you can fucking cremate him at this point because the guy's just too old and he's fucking useless for this offense. Tyler Boyd has cemented himself as the best guy for Joe Burrow to throw the ball to, and this week up against the Jacksonville Jaguars, I expect nothing but greatness out of Tyler Boyd. At number 20, we have Julian Edelman going up against the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead. Now, this is obviously not the juiciest matchup for Julian Edelman, but he's that safety net you throw into your roster on a weekly basis, guaranteed to get you 10 plus half PPR and full PPR points. With that said, in this game, Julian Edelman will be involved a lot on the field. Cam Newton will have to throw the ball to him since he's clearly the number one guy on the team if they're behind up against the Kansas City Chiefs, which I assume will happen. I think that Wham Bam, Cam Newton, and Bill Belichick will be able to keep this game close. I believe Julian Edelman puts up a nice solid spot here in this game at 21. We have Kenny Golladay going up against the New Orleans Saints. Now, Kenny Golladay definitely did not look 100% last week, even though he made a catch that looked like one of the better catches of the year. He jumps up. Stafford misses him by a zillion feet. He just jumps up and brings that thing down, scores a tug this week up against the Kenny Golladay, up against the New Orleans Saints. I think he has the potential to score another tug like he's fucking Robert Kraft in a Miami massage parlor. So Kenny Golladay here, I expect this game to be decently high scoring, if I'm being honest with you. The New Orleans Saints defense doesn't seem to be all that good against pretty solid quarterbacks like I think Matthew Stafford is. And with Golladay here, I expect a nice game here. Not the greatest, though, because obviously Stafford just, I don't know if it was Stafford or if Golladay just didn't look 100%. I mean, he said he wasn't 100%, so that could make a lot of sense. At 22, we have CeeDee Lamb going up against the Cleveland Browns here. Again, we talked about the matchup earlier. This is a very juicy one. Dak Prescott has been dripping down in touchdowns all over these wide receivers. You get a touchdown. You get a touchdown. You all get a touchdown, a.k.a. Dak, Oprah Winfrey, fucking Prescott. CeeDee Lamb, I like in this matchup. At 23, we have Odell Beckham Jr. going up against the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I hate Odell Beckham Jr. because the guy has so much, like, swag to him, and he just has no swag in his play because he doesn't play as good as he used to. So I don't know what it is with Odell Beckham Jr. If there was a game for OBJ to put up another big spot like he did up against the Bengals, it would be here up against the Dallas Cowboys, because that Cowboys defense just allows points left and right in the game. So if this one is closer, I think Odell Beckham Jr. should be able to play quite well in this game, though I don't love him because in games he just tends to disappear at times. At 24, we have Michael Gallup going up against the Cleveland Browns. Again here, a case of peppering the fucking offense in a a game that could be high scoring if the Browns are able to keep up. So I like Michael Gallup here. All three of these guys definitely have top 24 potential on the week, potentially top 12. Some of them may end up in that spot, especially maybe Amari Cooper. Now on to wide receivers 25 through 32. So again, if you ended up enjoying if you ended up enjoying yourself, you ended up having a great fucking time in this video, please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below if you're new. And if you're not new, please make sure to leave that like button and leave a comment down there so that the video can get sent to more fucking people, so we'd have more people win their fantasy football leagues and eat a W. Wide receiver number 25, we have Robbie Anderson, the stick man, going up against the Arizona Cardinals at home in Carolina. Now, in the past, the stick man Robbie Anderson has been one that was kind of in and out of games, right? He'd have a game where it was big, he plays fucking amazing, drops like 20 plus points, right? And then there's games where he's just hiding and doing nothing on the field, looking like a fucking hermit crab and scores like 3 points. But recently, Robbie Anderson has surpassed his kind of archetype of a player that we think he is and has become more of the going to score 15 plus points on a weekly basis. So with that said, I feel a lot more confident with Robbie Anderson now. Got him inside of the top 25 this week up against the Cardinals. At 26, we have Hollywood Brown going up against the Washington football team in Washington. Now, Hollywood has taken 2 dumps straight on your chest. He hit you with the double tap. He hit you with the shocker in the ass 2 times in a row. Week 1, he did look good up here against the Washington football team. I expect Lamar Jackson and friends to be fired up, to be pissed off that they just got bent over by Patrick Mahomes. Now Lamar Jackson has a second brother because Patrick Mahomes and his girlfriend are having another baby. So congrats to Lamar Jackson on the brother, because Lamar Jackson is fucking awful in games from behind. That game was coming from behind. This game, they're going to be coming in the fucking front missionary style all over the Washington football team. At number 27, we have Devontae Parker going up against the Seattle Seahawks. Now, Devontae Parker hasn't looked all that great this season, but neither has the Seahawks defense. And if Ryan Fitzmagic is wheeling and dealing in this game like I think he could, Devontae Parker definitely deserves a seat inside of the top 28 at wide receiver. Next up at 28, we have Russell Gage going up against the Green Bay Packers. Now, this kind of ranking depends on Julio Jones. If Julio doesn't go, Gage definitely deserves the top 28 spot, maybe even a top 24 spot. And Gage got hurt last week, so understand that, but he should be good to go. Reports are that he's fine. If Julio is in, I would be less confident in Russell Gage on the week. But we will know, obviously, about Julio probably by Sunday. At number 21, we have T.Y. Hilton, and he's ranked inside of the top 32. Why? Because he'll finish there, probably. But he has no upside. No upside at all up against the Bears. This guy has looked atrocious through the first 3 games of the season, and I really don't expect him to pick it up against the Bears defense. At 30, we have Will Fuller going up against the Minnesota Vikings. Now, that Minnesota Vikings defense is god-awful. This game could be a Will Fuller humongous game, but the problem with Will Fuller is you have to bake in the risk of him. That's why I have him ranked at 30. He has top 12 potential, but he also has potential to be like wide receiver 45 on the week because he just doesn't do anything. That's the risk you're taking with Will Fuller, but here up against the Vikings, definitely an okay start. At 31, we have Marvin Jones going up against the New Orleans Saints. Now, the process has told me is the last couple of years, Marvin Jones and Kenny Golladay have been on the Detroit Lions. Marvin Jones plays better with Golladay healthy on a points per game basis. Golladay is healthy now, so I expect Marvin Jones to look much better, but nothing out of him last week showed me that he deserved to be inside the top 25, but I think that may be wrong. Hopefully he has a big game here this week. And at number 32, we have another guy with the double J, Jerry Jeudy, going up against the New York Football Jumbo Jets. Now, this game, the quarterback is Brian Ripken or some shit, the Denver quarterback. No idea who he is. Looked pretty good last week, though. 8 for 9. Did end up throwing an interception, though, against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Here, he gets the garbage Jets defense. Sutton's out. Seems like this game screams Jerry Jeudy putting up a solid match up against the New York Football Jets. So thank you guys all for watching this video. If you do end up enjoying, please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure you check out Overlay DFS as well. Link down below in the description. I love each and every single one of you motherfuckers, and I can't wait to see you guys in a couple of hours live on YouTube. Make sure you guys check that out. Have a great rest of your guys' day. Good boy.